Tell me if you see us, KB.
All right. Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
If you see us.
Yeah, I see y'all. I just posted it.
Got you. All right. We are 59. Boop, boop, boop.
All right. Go back to here. Go back to my subject matter.
All right. I'm going to play the title sequence. Hey y'all, what's going on? This is your girl Dizzy, and welcome to another episode of Whatchu Got To Say. I got some of my crazy co-hosts in the building today, and we're going to explain why in just a few minutes. What's up, Mr. Cabana Blaq?
What's up? What's up? I'm that dude literally on today. So
and what's up, Mr. Tyrone Greggory?
Ah, shit. Gang, let's get it.
Now, look, I gotta send love out to my other two homegirls, Miss Kela Mahogany and Cool Candice. They're not joining us today, and guess what? In a few minutes, I won't be joining you either, because this is a men's only show today. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a discussion about whether or not men have safe spaces to be men, to be vulnerable, to ask questions. And this conversation was first really small, and then went into like a 3-hour conversation about all the different dynamics that could possibly be a part of why men may or may not communicate as much as women do. Because, you know, the stereotype, men only talk about sex and ass. But hey, so do some women. So, you know, it may not just be a men's thing. So what we decided to do is bring some men in and let them discuss. Where's your safe space? What is it? What does that look like? What does that feel like? So on and so forth. So we are going to get this show started. I'm going to pass the torch to Mr. Cabana Blaq, and he will introduce you to our people that are on our board and hopefully give you some insight. Holler at us in the comments. We will be addressing your comments, questions, everything. We want this to become a safe space today for men. So, Mr. Cabana Blaq, it's all.
Everybody, what's up, y'all? I am excited. I am, of course, a little bit nervous because this is a dear subject for me personally, and you will find out why. Welcome once again to What You Got To Say. First of all, let me shout out to these amazing brothers that is on the platform, Maurice, Juwan, Slim, Ghost, Tyrone, Lou, and of course, Dennis. Shout out to you. And today we're talking about safe spaces, and we definitely want you to chime in, talk to us, give us that feedback, but we're going to get right into the gig. Does safe spaces truly exist for men? And what better way to do it than start off with Juwan down by 7 to answer the question, does safe spaces exist for men?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? I'm Juwan. I do think that safe spaces actually exist. Essentially, you know, I think that's one of the things that, you know, us as people have to realize that, you know, there are safe spaces out there. You know, are some of these spaces for everybody? Some of the spaces may not be for everybody, but there are safe spaces out here for men. So I would like to definitely, you know, say that at least for myself, I'm trying to do something that, you know, a lot of guys probably wouldn't want to do, and that's put, you know, all the guys, not only necessarily guys together, but also put in, eventually bring in, you know, women, and also bring in the kids as well, because essentially all of these people are you know, a key part to our success in this world right now today. And us as Black men, you know, in general, you know, we are again down by 7. So that's why essentially one of the reasons why I started this platform is to kind of give people the insight, man, about, you know, look, we have real problems that we deal with, you know, in our community, especially. So essentially my thing was this, man, get these brothers, sisters and together, man, and let's make something happen, man. And I think that's one of the things what I'm trying to do, man. And it's gonna definitely kick off, man.
Okay, so let me ask the question to the group. And of course, you know, definitely if you want to chime in, we're going to try to work it around so we can work things out. For you, what is the definition for you personally, like Ghost? What is the definition to you of a safe space for men?
I mean, I'm gonna keep the definition short and sweet. I think the definition for men doesn't really differ from anybody's definition. You know, whether you're a woman or anything else, in between or whatever. I just feel like a safe space to me is a judgment-free zone where you can, without any, and I want to be careful with saying without any repercussions or whatever, where you can just kind of share yourself, share your feelings, share some of the issues that you might be going through, and get some real, some real feedback, not just constructive criticism or not just criticism in general, to where, you kind of taking it and just like, oh, you know what, I shouldn't have said that, and kind of second guess, a second opportunity that may come along for you to share yourself. So I think any time where you can say something to somebody in whatever space that may be, without you getting any negative feedback from it, I think that's your safe space for anybody, not just for men. Particularly for men, though, I don't know if you want me to get into that right now, or if that's part of
no.
Yeah,
and we're gonna go down this rabbit hole. We're gonna find this out. Let's do it.
I mean, I agree with Jay 100%. What I will say, though, in addition to that, is I think safe spaces for men in general, I think for people in general, starts with yourself, so you have to be honest with yourself and come to grips with whatever you got going on in your life. You have to not lie to yourself. If it's something that's quote unquote controversial because it goes against social constructs or anything like that, you would have to, make sure that you are not lying to yourself. It's tough to, just jump into specific examples cold turkey, or rather, right off the bat. But yeah, like I said, I think not lying to yourself is a big one, coming to grips with it, and accepting it, that's the person that you are, understanding it, learning to love yourself for it, because obviously it brings you joy, because that's just, that's who you are. And then, finding the confidence and finding people who, love you and respect you enough to where you can share that with them. And who knows, new friendships might be coming out of that. New relationships, you might find your soulmate based off of that. And it doesn't have to be a spouse or you know what I mean? It can just be like, the homie that you never thought that you would be able to connect with on that level. And now you're like, that bond that you were able to build is as strong as a brother's, you know what I mean? So I think it starts with yourself first. And later down in the conversation, we can kind of get into, I guess, or I can kind of get into what I think that looks like in society and the talking to like the bigger masses, I guess.
Does anybody want to add before I go any further? Because I definitely want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity if there's something that you want to say, because it brings up another question for me. If anybody wants to add anything, or you're good right now. You good?
Yes. So what I want to say, I agree with what Jerome was saying. The men have safe space, and it starts with trust, right? If you want to open yourself first, you need to trust the person, right? You need to trust the person that you want to share stuff with. So it starts with trust. And if you have, good men around you, you can open yourselves. And it's a couple of groups, in Facebook that I found this during the pandemic, where we just go and just, if you have something, you just share it. Nobody judge anybody. People just give their opinion. They don't know you. They give your opinion, and you can let it go. You can be free. So I do agree. Yeah, it's safe. We must have safe space. As men. Because we're doing so much stuff. you know, and we don't have right now with the pandemic, you don't have too much release. You know, everything is closed. People have released, they want to release something, but they can't. You know, so those group, you know, be with men like we had now, sharing stuff, you know, that's ideal. You know, that's my opinion on that.
Okay, so then this leads me to another place, which is really good because I believe for me that there are not as many safe spaces until I heard about it from Juwan for men, but as opposed to women. I think women are created and have certain things that are available to them, and they have relationships with each other that are available to them, that they can be able to have that quote freedom and being that one with themselves. And you can see it, you know, on TV, you can see it in any form of the world when you look at it. So my question to you is your comfortability in your safe place right now necessarily in a woman or a man? And you can be as honest as you want to. Like, do you find that the deeper things that you have conversations about, you feel more comfortable speaking about those things with a woman or a man?
For me,
okay, you know, Juwan, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think this place, man, I mean, for like basically it's almost two entities of this program that we basically have. So right now, our direction right now, man, is to get the men involved, because that's something that's hard for men to actually do, is get in one room and actually agree to, you know, different topics and stuff like that. And I can honestly say, and even in our group right now, we don't always agree, you know, we agree to disagree, you know, but we all know what the common goal is at the end of the day. And that's what we shooting for. You know, a lot of people want to see us divided, and that's not what's going to happen in our group. We're going to stick together. We're going to basically stay firm to what we believe. But we're also open to ideas from anybody, you know, and that's what makes our place unique. And we also have a, you know, we got trust in that group, because everybody that we have right now in our group they pretty much everybody knows me. But when they first come in, they don't know each other. So what they're doing is they're taking the trust in myself to, you know, they're taking that trust and that belief in me that I'm going to bring the right people around them. And for me, that's big for me. So that's going to make me even go harder at what I'm doing to bring these people together. But not only am I going to do this with these guys, I'm going to do it with the women as well, because essentially it's about trusting and believing in the process of what we're doing. And I think, you know, the people that I have right now in my corner, they truly believe in what we're doing, man. And I mean, I'm going to continue to push this thing because we need it in this world, because it doesn't matter who you are, what kind of person you are, you know, your background or anything like that. It's about what is the common goal, you know, what is that end goal for us as you know, men, women, and us in this world. Because when a cop stops me, guess what? I'm Black. When they stop anybody else on this podcast or whatnot, as far as for right now, they're Black, right? So essentially, when they call that call in, I stopped a Black male. They didn't tell me what kind of Black male that person is. So essentially, we just gotta, you know, figure out how can we get through this thing together, because this pandemic has showed us a lot that we do need each other, point blank, period.
So, but to drive it even more farther, like Lou or Slim, the direct question is your comfortability in talking to a woman as opposed to a man? Because what I want people to understand is the psyche of it all, you know, how men operate. Do you feel more comfortable going beyond the game and all that other stuff that, you know, can be the surface dialogue and having that deep conversation with a man, or you feel better with a woman? And Slim or Lou, if y'all would like to answer, that'd be dope.
So for me personally, I can only speak on my personal experience, right? To me, it depends on what stage you at as a man, what stage you at in your life. You know, you kind of on a mature level. Once you start to wise up, you start to do things a little different. However, through all of that, you always have a safe space with your small circle, right? And that's normally your boys, your A1 day ones, right? They always there through thinking that from start when you was young, dumb, and full of calm to you married and kids and everything. They still there. So that's always there, right? The issue with that is, like Juwan was saying, to hit on what he was saying, it got to get bigger. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Down by 7 platform does for us. It allows that circle to get bigger. Now, once you start to get a little more wiser, right? You start to realize that, okay, in my experience, you start to realize that, you know, some guys that I thought was real weren't as real as they appear to be. And then you start realizing that women do start to become more of that safe space, that safe haven, right? And you start to, but that just comes through wisdom, if that makes sense.
That's good. What about you, Slim?
I agree with Lou. You know, with the down by 7, it's a. I know you. The question was, do you feel safe with the men or the women, right?
Right.
I feel it's like it's certain things I'm comfortable to talking to women about, but it's something that I want opinions from the men because I might be going through something that somebody in that group might have already been through. So if I'm dealing with something deep down inside, I should be able to go to my brother and say, hey man, I got this problem. It's been on my chest. I need some help with it. You understand? And with that being said, it's still like a 50-50, but my go-to is gonna be go to men because maybe I'm married, right? So maybe something, it could be a disagreement with me and my wife that I don't feel comfortable talking to at that point, but maybe I can reach out to my brothers to help me get back on communication track with my wife, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm using this platform for. Also, amongst other things, is that brotherhood, that shoulder I need to lean on, because I can't just walk up to any man and just be like, hey man, I got a problem. He probably look at me and say, I got my own problems, or I got my own stuff to deal with. But now that I know I got my brothers, that's what I'm leaning more towards.
Let's unpack that. But first, let me say that Shane Warren said, I think it's more important, more about men learning to create those spaces, which is kind of why it seems less than available. It's also key to note that safe spaces are tailored for me to what I want to talk about. And that's interesting. And Jasmine says, I agree with Ghost, be vulnerable without being judged. I want to unpack that because I think that where we're going is like, I'm trying to get it open so people can really go through it. Yes.
Bro.
Yes.
So I'm listening and I hear your question, and then I'm listening to what the fellas are saying, which I agree with pretty much everything. Keynote, everything was dope. But like, it's levels to it though. It's like Slim was trying to say, you know, he's married. Like, I'm married as well. There's thing, I have my circle, like Lou was saying, I got my circle. I can talk to these brothers about anything. They might bust my ass about some shit. They might, you know what I'm saying, help me along on some shit. I might be on a conversation for 20 minutes and they just joking their ass off about what I'm talking about, but yet they still dropping jewels though, as long as I'm open to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with my wife, you know, there's things that me and her will discuss that I won't talk to the fellas about. It ain't none of my fellas' business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's levels to it. It's certain things that men are comfortable talking to women in general or their spouse, girlfriend, or whatever have you. But then there's certain things that we are comfortable talking to other men about. And it's kind of like Dizzy has said before, you know, she'll be having a conversation with women and a man may walk in and she'll be quiet. Well, men do the same shit. We'll be talking and out of respect, it's not necessarily because we don't want her to know what we talk about, but out of respect for, number one, the person who's sharing, because it ain't that person's business just walked in. It ain't their business to know what we're talking about. Two, we might be talking about some shit that's like offensive to a woman. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be quiet on that level too. But you know, going back to what Maurice said, it's number one about trust though. If you can't trust the people around you, you're not gonna share anything.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So this even makes me like, I'm excited there. Because then the question is, okay, everybody in the room, raise your hand if you're married or, you know, dating. Yeah, you better get don't you get in trouble. Disney gonna be like pop, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying?
He's in the other room.
Ring.
You better raise your
hand. Why you walk off the camera? What you mean? You trying to hide something? What's going on here?
Hey, ring gang over here.
Gang, gang.
I have to ask this question, and this is a really good one. It's like, okay, so Ghost said something very much earlier about, you know, knowing yourself, you know, the importance of knowing yourself. And my thing is, as far as single and even being Black men, do you think that we have limitations until we get in relationships, and why? Now, I want you to think about it. I want to say it again, because the one thing I heard when Ghost spoke, he said about knowing yourself. And then I heard the word trust, and I heard some other things that are more individualized in having the conversation and dialogue. Now, for me being a single person, I cannot relate to none of what y'all go through as far as marriage. I'm single. So for me, my goal holistically is to find brotherhood that I can be free and transparent. So my thing is, it's a good question to ask is, do you think in the mindset of men, is being single limiting, and then you get free after you get with your wife or your significant other? Because one of the things that I'm noticing that y'all said, you know, you have your conversation with your boys and you have certain conversations with women and your wife and things like that nature. I want to know, is that because you're attached to someone that you can trust, and ultimately your trust is more going to be in a partner?
So I'm gonna touch on that because I mean, we all, just because we married, we all been single before, if that makes sense. So we might have some insight for you that you might be going through, but we done been through it. Because I mean, it's like playing a basketball game. You trying to get to the championship. Hey, we got it to the championship, got our ring, but we got there somehow, and it wasn't easy getting there. Of course, you've been relationship after relationship after relationship until you got to your wife. You know what I'm saying? So we might have some insight for you to help you out. You get what I'm saying? So that's just my take on it. I don't know if that really touched a little bit on what you was talking about, but that's what I got out of it.
That's good. That's good. There's really no wrong answer when you
okay. But that's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, it's like Steve was saying, you know, we were single before. It's come also with the education, you know, tapping to what you were saying earlier. It's education. So from my background, you know, my dad always say that, you know, men don't show emotion. You don't want to see you in the kitchen or something like that. That's for women. You can't share stuff. So when you grow up with that, you know, you have your boys, and you know, you stick with your boys, and then you tell them everything. When you find that person, you know, that woman that you can share with, you know, you bring more trust to her. You know, you share stuff, but like Sim was saying, and Lou was saying too, there's some stuff that you have to talk to your boy. You know, for example, about your marriage, right? You open yourself to your boy about the marriage, because she can't see your vision, you know, or your views, because she's a woman. That's the emotion first. You know, your boy is clear head. He's like, no, man, this is what you can do as a man. So like you said, you know, when you single, you know, your boys are there before, right? They're there before until you get with someone. So you learn, and then, you know, every relationship that you go to, your boy will be with you all along. You know, they are with you all along until you find that one that you can also give the same trust. You know, so that's what I think about that.
Anybody else want to add?
Yeah. The question, this is Dennis. The question was,
Dennis?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
the question was.
Go ahead, Dennis. We just saw you. I didn't see your face. Go ahead, Dennis.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. Again, I'm at work. I apologize for not having a video for y'all, but I do have some input on this. Can you rephrase the question one more time again so I can get it properly?
Okay, I was saying, basically, is there, when you're single, is there limitations to your freedom of conversation as opposed when you get to the partner, the marriage? Because a lot of what I was hearing, but Slim said some things which was dope. Maurice said some things, but are you limited? Do you feel like men become limited in being single opposed to when they get married? Because sometimes I hear so much, like Lou said, it gets more wisdom, you get more broader, you have all this insight, you see things. And even when I see marriages, you know, you can see how men and women together collectively are blossoming. And my question is it limiting then for the single person that can have that conversation? You know what I'm saying? So I hope I'm explaining that right.
No, I get it. I think it's a double-sided sword, and
Okay.
this is what I mean. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's
I'm
okay.
delivering. But like I was saying, I think it's a double-sided sword. Reason being, when you're gonna open up to a certain level when you meet somebody because they open you up. You understand what I'm saying? Then when you are single, there's a certain realm or certain there's only so much you're gonna be willing to discuss with a person. There's only so much you're gonna let down or let go because you're single. You have to do this yourself. You've developed an attitude or rather a way of life that really kind of only involves you. You know what I mean? Versus when you open up with somebody or you got a significant other and they open you up or they pick that lock. I think that it can go both ways. You can, because the question was, if I'm not mistaken, do you feel it's limiting? It can be limiting when you, from my personal perspective, it can be limiting when you're single. It can be limiting when you're married, because there's certain things you are not going to discuss with your significant other. I don't care how long you've been married.
Right.
It's just certain things. It's just certain things it's certain things you're not going to go into, and there's certain things that you are not going to do because you're single, because you don't have that trust, because you don't have that respect, because you don't have that rapport with a person. So I mean, that can go both ways. You know what I mean? And that's my personal perspective on that, I think.
That's good. Anybody want to add before I jump in? Because I definitely want to, keep it
Yeah.
going. Tyrone.
Let me jump in there real quick, Lou. Let me jump in there real quick, bro.
Okay.
So I like what Dennis just said, because single or married, there's limitations regardless, and I'm just gonna say as men, because we carry ourselves to a certain standard in life, period. You know what I'm saying? Every man has a standard for themselves, period.
Okay.
And you're not gonna just let anyone fuck with your standards.
Right.
It's just a period, point blank thing. So it's like, no matter what, I could be cool with y'all all day long, but that don't mean I'm about to tell y'all Negroes everything. I can't do it. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it go back to that trust thing again, but guess what? The more you let out, the more that's out there in space you can't get back. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to compartmentalize the things you say and things you do. Like I always say, men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. Men, you pour the syrup on a waffle, it go from each square to each square. I'm talking about this, I'm talking about that, I'm talking about this.
Right.
Women, they like spaghetti. You got to put the sauce, the noodles, the meat, everything together. And the girl was over here.
Great.
Men ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? So everything has its place in any conversation, whether you're single or whether you're married. Like Slim and Maurice was saying, and even Lou, like, that wisdom, man, whether you stay single or you get married, that wisdom is gonna come. Right. It's gonna come, but you gotta use it. And that's the thing, I hate to say it, but a lot of these brothers out here ain't using that knowledge that they're learning. They're not using those lessons and like this conversation now. They're not helping each other. They're keeping that knowledge to themselves, or they just keep fucking up.
Yeah, so let me go even further then. Okay.
Let Lou speak.
Lou had.
No, go ahead.
No, Lou, go ahead. Go ahead. Go on,
Go
Lou.
ahead, Luke.
Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead, Lou.
Go, Lou.
Go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead.
Say it, Lou.
Hold on. Now I gotta remember. Yes, y'all putting on the spot. I gotta remember.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna
Hold
get
on,
them started. I'm gonna get them started. I agree, but I disagree. Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead, Lou. There you go.
I wasn't gonna say that. Not yet.
Come on, Lou.
No, because I do agree. I was referring to the bird, but I do agree. Because it just don't, like, when you meet somebody, it don't matter. It don't matter, whether you single or married. You meet somebody, man, and they just give you their whole sad story. You think they crazy, like, yo, you don't even know me like that. That's what we say naturally as a human. So, it just that's just not the way we operate as people. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a trust thing, like y'all say. I agree with that. But it's like you say, when you put something out, you can't get it back, and you can't put everything out to everybody. You know what I mean? Whether you think you can put everything out when you get married or whatever, if that's the case. But however, through the things that you've done in that journey, you know what I'm saying, your wife may not understand. And then you can put some things out, then you create some friction, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of lost my chain of thought, to be honest with you. But we can move forward, brother.
No, that's good. That's good.
Can I say something real quick though? I really like what you said, Lou, about, you know, how when somebody opens up to somebody that they don't know, like the immediate reaction is like, bro, you don't know me. Like, why you just, you know what I mean? Like, it's and crazy is like one of those like trigger words for me also, you know what I mean? Because it's mad dismissive, but that's like a natural reaction that I guess all of us have a little bit. Like, yo, why are you like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know me. And I think when you really, really think about it, it comes from because we know how that feels. Like, there is no such thing as an external enemy, right? The fear that comes from that, like, yo, you don't know me, this is crazy that you're doing this, is because because of the fear that you know what that person can do with that information, or what you could be doing with that information, right? And so for me, like, I try my best, because, you know, it's happened not often, you know what I mean? Obviously, you know, we talking about, you know, men trying to open up, and especially to other men. Oftentimes, like, all of us have said and agreed to, like, man, some of the shit, like, ain't none of their business, you know what I mean? I might have to talk to a woman about this type of shit, you know what I mean? But if there is a situation, and this happened to me maybe like once or twice in my life, where a dude, like, we was even at a bar, this guy was just sitting next to me and just opened up. That man just going through some shit, you know what I'm saying? And for me, like, I had to like really, really pause and immediately recognize that, yo, man, if I'm in this, if I'm in those shoes, man, and I'm quote unquote crying out for help, let it just be a conversation. That's cool. This man ain't trying to get my number and, like, you know, strike up a friendship and like bond because he needs help. He's not looking for a sponsor or anything like that. He's just like here because he needs a fucking change of scenery. He needs a drink and he just needs to get something off his chest.
Right.
The bar crazy fucking night, because traditionally bartenders are that. I know, you know, that's depicted in movies and all that stuff. Today, that may not be the case. And, you know, Maurice, you was talking about, you know, quarantine, everybody's at home now and shit like that. So that part of the conversation is completely out the window. But back to what I was saying, I kind of found myself in, you know, in a spot where I was like, yo, man, let me not, like, all right, that's cool, and just dip. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, listen, it's like, yo, and really, really engage and be like, yo, bro, you all right, man? Like, and just, even as superficial as it may sound, it's like, look, man, you're gonna feel like this right now. But, and trust me, I've been there. We've all been there. Whether that's, you know, heartbreak over a woman, you know, death.
It's an awkwardness. The unawkwardness. You're right. I agree with it. It's an awkward situation. You know what I mean? It's just awkwardness.
For sure.
You're right. I agree.
And so I feel like, you know what I mean, a safe space, you know, once you are comfortable enough within yourself to introduce a safe space, or, you know, like open up, like send an invitation to a safe space, I think it's the responsibility of the person that's being talked to kind of accept that and send out a message that says, you know what, I got you, whatever you need to say right now, fuck it, go ahead, and that shit stays between you and I. If you want to open it up to somebody else, you know, that's that. And if it's a stranger, if it happens to be a stranger, you obviously, like I said, you know, that doesn't happen like on a daily basis type of shit or whatever. But if that happens to be your scenario, leave that scenario and you know, once you're done with it, and take it, you know, as a learning lesson, you know, to some of your other homies. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know, you can just say, bro, if you're going through something, like, I'm there for you, because you may not know that you're a good fucking listener and a good person to give advice. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a two-way street when it comes to safe spaces. You know what I mean? It's not just a stage. This ain't Alcoholics Anonymous type shit. You know what I mean?
Then you work into a safe space, like you said.
Problems, you know?
Okay, and let me say this, and make sure, like, we let everybody finish their phrases, because we definitely want to get everything in. I know that we're getting, like, this is the good part where we're getting into the conversation. Welcome, Courtney Williams. What's up to you? Let
Good
me say
afternoon,
this
I mean.
quick. I have a great question. It's a great another. I call myself the segue king, and It says Shane said that's an interesting segue. How we are taught to emote and speak of emotions. For me, it's taken years to deprogram toxic masculinity, like the perception that sensitivity is weak or for pussies. Like that ain't gonna work. It says also. I think many of our hardships in dating and partnerships stem from the lack of emotional development, investment in learning how and why we feel what we feel. My question, as just talking to you right now, this is the next part. Is there a difference between friendship and brotherhood?
Definitely.
I think it is. It's a difference between that.
Yes.
You want to talk to me? What's the difference between friendship and brotherhood?
I mean, for me, I think that friendship, man, you can be friends with almost anybody.
Exactly.
But you can't be brothers with everybody. And I mean, even your own family, you can't be brothers with them. That are your true brothers or whatever, because essentially you have to be able to relate to that person that's dealing with whatever they're dealing with, and if you don't feel that same vibe with them, it's not gonna feel genuine. And that's really what's key to it, is being able to be genuine with a person and trusting them, man, because that goes a long way. When somebody realizes that you're not a genuine person, that trust goes out the door. And I mean, essentially, that's my thing. Is I think that's really the big difference between the two.
So, and I want people to expound about it because, friendship and brotherhood, one of the things that Ghost was saying, and Tyrone and a couple of people, even Lou was saying, and Slim was saying, but the thing about the bar, seeing that person that you don't know, for me, brotherhood is recognized, and this is my personal opinion, brotherhood is recognizing the man in need. Brotherhood is recognizing the man in need, and friendship is you recognize someone that you've known, that's your boy, you've been there for whatever, how many years. But what Ghost just said to me was a form of brotherhood, that he took that moment to recognize a man in need. And so, I see in the world, like I said, with women, they are allowed to really be expressive. And Maurice talked about, know in the kitchen, know to this, that you're raised a certain way. Does that, especially even in the African American male community, does that handicap how we are able to respond to the 911 call to our brothers? Because I feel like right now, conversations like this, I would love to see more of them. You know what I'm saying? I would love to be in them. And I'm gonna go further in my part, but I want to keep this rolling as far as brotherhood and the friendship piece. Tyrone.
I have to say, what Ghost was talking about, like you were saying with the bar thing and him recognizing that, with a stranger, that's not brotherhood. That is humanity. That is being a human being. That's being a man.
So,
that's not brotherhood.
So give me the difference between
I got you.
The brotherhood and the humanity. So people would know, what is brotherhood?
I got you.
Black or white, right?
It's simple and plain.
Right.
You.
Okay.
Maurice. I know y'all Ghosts. I know who y'all are. I just met Jay, Slim, Lou, and Courtney. I have a different conversation with you three than I would have with them. You see what I'm saying? Not by bias or for like shunning them or nothing, but as strangers, like I'm like, okay, I gotta get to know who they are. You know what I'm saying? That's the brotherhood is what I know with you guys. With them, it's like, okay, these are guys that I've met with like-minded, views, and I can get to know them, probably create a brotherhood with them. There's a big difference between.
So for
go ahead, Maurice.
So for me, I have a bar. I have a bar between friendship and brotherhood. Friendship, my friends, like I said, the friendship, I don't bring them closer to my family. They don't come in my house. Friendship that I just met you, we just kicking it outside and everything, we talk. You don't come to my. Once I bring you to my house, you are my brother. You are my brother because you went through certain step, for me to give that trust. You are my brother. So I have that bar.
I believe.
Okay, go ahead, Courtney.
I believe strongly in that. Like I have a barrier up to everyone. You know what I mean? Same sex, different sex. I have a barrier up to everyone. You have to get within a space where I'm willing to let that barrier down and willing to let you in before I can call you a brother. You might be a friend, but you still have that wall between me. You know what I mean? Once you become a brother, that wall starts to come down. You know what I mean? You start to be able to come in a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as time passes, our bond gets stronger and stronger. But it's really hard for me to call anyone a friend or whatever that I'm just meeting, because I have to feel you out. I have to see how you move. I have to see what people you associate with, what you are going to bring into my life before I can consider you a friend. You know what I mean? You might just be a person that I'm passing in time.
Great analogy. Great. Yeah, I think on that.
I like on the topic of brotherhood, I kind of want to, chime in here, and I love everybody's definitions of that, and I think, that speaks volumes of, like kind of like a cohesive culture, you know what I mean, amongst men. And I don't necessarily want to just say, Black men or whatever. Obviously, this is the the platform for it now, but like I think men in general, and so like my definition is something that I lifted directly from Malcolm X, who has a very famous quote about brotherhood, and it's I believe in the brotherhood of man, all men, but I don't believe in brotherhood with anybody who doesn't want brotherhood with me. I believe in treating people right, but I'm not going to waste my time trying to treat somebody right who doesn't know how to return the treatment. And I think that right there, like to me, that's my number one commandment, right? But to me, that's right there the definition, or I guess the hard line between friendship and brotherhood. Like you would do something for your brother that your brother would do for you as well. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is who's cordial with you, who's respectful to you, and all that other stuff or whatever. That's just your friend. You know what I'm saying? So. Nothing really, else to add to that. I thought it was, really, really important though to quote one of the great leaders in our community, because especially in these trying times and stuff like that, when like the racial divide is, extremely big, and obviously that plays a huge part into how we interact as men. How we interact with other races of men and all that other stuff. I think it's really important to kind of like look back, and look to some of our leaders that have done great things for us, and set a foundation to where we can build on even today. So yeah, that was a little I don't know what the word for it is. That was out there, what I mean? I just wanted to bring it in, you know what I'm saying?
It's good because once again, we're hitting spots, we hit humanity, we hit brotherhood and friendship, because a lot of times for me, I know a lot of people that they get into words. Words are important, words are powerful, and how you define those words is how you define these relationships and friendships. And I think, for men, the words have not been necessarily defined. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm asking these questions, so that we can get a sense of, okay, for me, like I said earlier, brotherhood is seeing men coming together as one. This is brotherhood in my house, in my peripheral. But Maurice gave me another point of view as far as, brotherhood is something that you earn, you're welcome into the home. Then someone gave me another point of view, Courtney with the layers and the walls. Like all these things add up to one thing. So I'm about to go into another a little subject. It's my first time. It's kind of uncomfortable, but it's needed because all men are not the same, right? And so for me, I have been seeking out brotherhood, and that's why I brought up the word brotherhood, because for me being a gay male, this is my first conversation with men. Like it has been the toughest years of my life, because unfortunately, you can see it. If I was more masculine and if it wasn't there, I don't think that it's perpetuated the same, because I've already seen that. And so when I come into a room and there's men there, especially brothers of my color, and we're having these conversations, the conversation just sways. And so what I have to do is kind of be mute or tone it down or pull it in. And so I want to ask the question personally, especially Juwan and Lou and different people in those safe spaces that are created, does the gay man pose a threat in these male safe spaces? And I really want that real transparent honesty, because I think it's very important, because if we don't tell the truth, then we are always gonna live a lie. So for me, yes, Courtney.
For me personally, I would say no. I think it's uncomfortable because most of us were raised a certain way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There you go.
And even
There you go.
in our growing, as I've gotten older and you start realizing that people live their life differently, you start realizing that even the conversation that you were having around those people might have ostracized them because you didn't make it seem like they were welcome. You know what I mean? I've noticed that a lot. Like you just like you said about you being gay. I've seen people post their partners on my Facebook page, and I'm like, I never knew they were gay, and we would hang out back in the day. You know what I mean? And I think it was maybe because of the environment we were in, they weren't willing to share that information. You know what I mean? So that made me that flipped the switch in my mind somewhat as well. You need to be more opening and welcoming to that environment, because you don't want to, if you consider somebody close and a friendly or a coworker or whatever, you don't want to ostracize them from your life because of something that the way they live their life. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. What do you think about that, Lou?
So, all right. So with that situation, right? Everybody got who they can relate to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's who you're gonna be around. No matter if you gay or straight, right? You're gonna be around what you're comfortable. That is your safe space. And when you say, are you hurting the brotherhood? That was the question, right?
Right.
If you're gay, are you hurting it? So I'm gonna say you have your place in it, right? You got your place just like I got my place. But at the same time, for the ultimate goal, like at the end of the day, for my mind, I think I got 3 eyes. So I may see something that everybody else can't see. And so I think at the end of the day, there's a place, right? There's a place for man. I'm be honest, I'm kind of uncomfortable with this conversation, right? However, I got a brother that's gay, right?
Right.
And I'm trying to say things without being disrespectful. So we have a place, right? But everybody don't agree with that. Everybody don't think it's right. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it's right based off of how I was raised, flat out, point blank, period. But at the same time, I'm never gonna be disrespectful. I welcome you in, right? Let's talk. We cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I got a brother that's gay. I got a niece that's gay. I got an auntie that's gay, and I love them to death. Period. But I think the shit get uncomfortable because people don't have nothing in common. Right. If a dope boy come around me right now, I ain't got nothing for him really. You know what I'm saying? Maybe when I was younger, cool. We all good to go, but it don't matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing in common. It don't matter your color, race, sexual preference, none of that. We just gotta have more in common. And I'm not close to being open to that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not judging you. I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, you're fucking wrong. It's just what I believe. It's just the way I was raised. And I've been told, hey, because I made a statement before to somebody. I said, well, yeah, for me, I don't want my kids to be gay, right? And I was called a homophobe because I just said I don't believe in that. I want grandkids. I want my kids to reproduce. I want all of that for my kids. And are you a homophobe? Well, no, man, I don't have no issue. I would never say, hey, I got a job and I'm not gonna give you the job because I don't care about that. I don't care. If you're a man, I don't want to know who you sleeping with. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
If you sleep, a man sleep with a man, woman, I don't care about none of that. Like you qualified, you get the job, you cool. I'm sure I'm around gay people every day and I don't know it. And I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But do I think it's right for me? No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I don't think it hurts as far as our growth, but as far as our reproduction, being that we being executed in a high rate in that manner, yeah, I think it hurts because it slows down our reproduction rate just in that manner.
And the thing about it, I want to say this, I'm so glad that you're being transparent because I believe this is the missing link. You know, every area, sometimes when we are very comfortable, we're able to talk very freely. But when it's time to get into politics, sexuality, and religion, all those kind of things, sometimes it gets tricky, and especially with sexuality. So with that question, you said a great aha for me. The aha was not having something in common. Now, for me, I'm more of, I call the conservative type of gay, meaning like, I'm not the type of person that you're gonna see me in a flamboyant way as far as like the bigger picture. Because I feel like every community, all our communities are different. Just like you're not gonna see a Black man wearing baggy jeans. He can be in a suit, he can be in different things. There are different shades to every person's personality. And so the problem that I have is just in general being able to talk like this until I say I'm gay. That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is you're good. And then when I say something, or if I want to bring up something about relationship, I see Tyrone, it becomes, you can feel the tension. So for me, it's like, now we get an opportunity to navigate the uncommon thing, the comfortability thing, to see if it can happen, because I think things like this is beautiful and we need more of it, not just for this subject, but there are always going to be areas where I think people are not going to agree. But this is one thing personally where I haven't joined the group because I didn't know what to say, because I felt like everything that I said was going to be the enemy. For me personally, I'll share this with y'all. I have been spit on. I have been threatened. When I tell you, I feel like a leper. Like, so, but I understand that it comes from culture. It comes from how we're raised. So this is how we change the narrative. But then the question is this, and then I'll open the floor to Tyrone and everybody else. Do you really want to? Because like Lou, I respect you. You said this ain't for you. You don't agree with it. You're not hating nobody, but this is not something that you feel like, as far as reproducing or whatever the case may be, is on the positive. And I think this is where we can have real dialogue too. Tyrone.
Okay. Number one, cultural differences, being raised, all that is the number one key to all of what was just said.
Right.
Lou was raised the way he was raised. Maurice was raised the way he was raised. Jay, Slim, Ghost, myself, you, we were all raised the way we were raised. That has nothing to do if a gay man walks into a conversation. What it is that comfort level of that straight man, period. It's the comfort level of the straight man in the situation. Mm-hmm. Two things. One, is he, number one, comfortable with his motherfucking self? Period. Are you secure in who the fuck you are? Right. That's number one. Number two, me personally, it's on that flamboyant level. How flamboyant is this joke about to be with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest.
Yes, please.
Sometimes it's like, yo, that's just too much, bro. Okay, I get it. You gay. Fuck it. Fine.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Don't make me shit. But we not about to twirl together.
Right.
Right.
I'm not about to do it. But that doesn't mean that I can't have a decent conversation with you. Don't mean I can't kick it with you. Mm-hmm. That don't mean none of that. It just ain't. Just like I leave you out of my business in my bedroom and how I get down, leave me out of yours.
Yeah.
Now, you want another Hennessy, my nigga? All right.
I see Ghost going like this. What you got, Ghost? Come on.
Like I'm a little bit, like I grew up, different from a lot of, people in the States, because I didn't grow up in the States. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in a society where homosexuality even though, you know, they do, you know, the gay community there do have their struggles. And not saying that I completely, you know, understand 100%, but the level of alienation, you know what I mean, is not as high as it is here, especially not in the Black community. And I kind of want to touch on that a little bit too, a little bit later. But gay people aren't the enemy of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, I don't give no fuck who you fucking. Like, I don't give a fuck.
We don't give a damn.
Like, bro, like if you good people, like I'm anti-asshole, yeah, and that's no pun intended. You know what I mean? But if you an asshole, like, I'm not fucking with you, man. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, and Greg, you know, you was talking about, you know, if we're going out, like, you want another Hennessy, like, don't be twirling and shit like that. Like, to me, like, and this is crazy, bro, that you said that, because I have an actual experience like that. So we was going out, partners of mine or whatever, a part of mine, he was getting married. This is his bachelor party, and one of the dudes that was there was the wife's, or to-be wife, her like best friend. He was gay, so he came along, no fucking problem. You know, we having a bachelor party, let's fucking go hammer time, right? We did that, so now we pouring drinks. I'm pouring drinks, and dude, like, everybody's holding out their cup, and dude is just like, poured in my mouth, and I'm just like,
hell no.
And I'm
no,
I wouldn't do that. Wait. Cool.
That's my reaction too, internally, you know what I'm saying? But we was in a public space, right? We was like in a train station, like pre-gaming on the way to the spot, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm not finna like embarrass this dude. I'm not gonna go like, oh, like, you stepping on my testicles and now I gotta fucking show you testosterone. Like, I'm not finna do that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, bruh, we're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna be who you are, dog, be who you are, dog. I'll fucking, you know, take you under my arm, or, you know what I mean, you can put your arm around me. I don't give a fuck. Like, we can fucking have a good time. But that, you know what I mean? That, to me, right there, when you said we're not finna be twirling together, that was the twirling right there, what you meant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not about to do that. But if you want to be flamboyant, you know what I'm saying, and you flamboyant right next to me, dog, I got no problem with that. You can twirl, you can glitter, if that, you know, if we being mad stereotypical right now, you know what I mean? So I do want to apologize for that too. But it is a scenario, you know what I'm saying? Or possibly a scenario. Dog, if you out here, like, dog, I even go as far as like, yo, if he come up to me in the club and he's just like, yo, bro, this dude right here, obviously he's gay. Like, you know, I don't know how to talk to him. Can you fucking set that up? Dog, I got no problem setting that up too. He's like, yo, my man right here, he think you whatever. I have no problem with none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do that. But if you out here trying to fucking spin me around, like, I'm not doing that either. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I feel like, you know, what I said or whatever came on too strong, you know what I mean, in general, because I think it shows that I have a strong opinion about this when I really don't. When the basis of my argument is, I don't care what you are, who you are, who you fucking, it doesn't matter. You can be my friend. Nobody, and that goes for women too. Woman, you're not about to make me do something that I don't want to do. That is out of my character. And that's what it is. So yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me get Courtney and then I get Dennis. And let me say this too, just, you know, because I love to interject disclaimers. This is how great this is going because of comfortability. And one of the things that I did want to share is what Ghost just did and what Tyrone just did. I do not represent that part of the community, even though that community is my family. And the world has perpetuated a new narrative for gay. We are that, what you just said. They do it on TV, they put it on movies, they put it on all this kind of stuff. And just like anything, how they perpetuate Black men, which we'll get into that, how they make us look, how they make us, you know, come off. I think these are the conversations that will break those stereotypes, because every Black man doesn't have to be a rapper and a basketball player in order to be a success. Every Black man doesn't have to necessarily, or any man in general, doesn't have to run around with glitter and all this stuff to be a gay person that just is living his life and making these choices and just wants friends that are male. Like, the hardest thing for me is to have male friends. But Lou, thank you so much. Lou, I must tell you, like, thank you, because uncommon means I gotta find a common place too. You know, we have to find a place that we can discuss, that we can talk. So I think it's very important that all of this is happening, because it doesn't happen because the world wants to perpetuate narratives that bring negative outcomes. And that's what we're hopefully destroying today. So first Courtney and then Dennis. Go, Courtney.
My thing was, like, even when you have conversations with the older people in your family and whatnot, the older men, your uncles, you know, all of them, it's some narrative goes around that, like, just because somebody's gay, they want to fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have women that want you, you damn sure not gonna have gay men.
Man that wants you. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's just pure, that's just honest, you know what I mean?
Hey,
that's fact.
And that's something that I see a lot in the community, and you can hear it when the conversation comes up, when you're just talking about simple stuff, you're like, oh, this, you're like, where'd that even come from? You know what I mean? Like, that's just something that didn't have to be said. So I see it a lot, you know what I mean? I try not to. I usually say my piece about it because people know that I'm more open-minded than a lot of people from the past generations, but like it just gets on your nerves when you start hearing that, especially when you have people that are gay that are in your circle of friends or people that you know what I mean? You know that's not how they conduct themselves.
yeah.
Right. And so Dennis, I forget, I'm trying to be even around the board, and then we're gonna go to another place. I just wanted to I want to touch subjects because of our time, and we got like a half an hour to go. So Dennis, go ahead, sir.
Okay, I think the question was, do you think that the group is a safe place, or rather, are you a threat to the group when you come in? My personal perspective on that is any man that is a man know who he is. And they ain't gonna have no problem with another coming in the group to turn the group around. That's something different. But if you come in enough for brotherhood, we should be able to communicate with you on all levels. There shouldn't be anything that's excluded from talking to you. Matter of fact, we should be able to learn something from you, probably, that can help us understand gay men better, because a lot of men seclude themselves from that. I live in a place where it's prevalent. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm from somewhere else where it wasn't. It is really, really something that's happening, whether we want it to or not. You have to learn how to deal with certain things and not ostracize, like my man said, not close the person out, because it is, regardless of what's going on, you're still a man. You're looking for like-minded men. Your mind, as far as conversation go, is always seeking. We ain't coming in there trying to do all this extra stuff. You understand what I'm saying? We don't. That has nothing to do with it. Your sexual preference or what you desire as far as sex or what you decide to do with your life. That's you. You say a brotherhood. How can it be a threat when we're trying to all get to a common goal? We trying to achieve and get to the same thing, or rather like-mindedness, so we can get something done. If I'm worried about you being gay, or just if I'm worried about you being gay, then I'm worried about him being mentally unsound or this. No, we need to focus on what we came here for, to discuss brotherhood, to have a oneness. So, I mean, I definitely wouldn't have a problem with it. You ain't no threat. How can you be a threat when you're a male? Your sexual preference is your sexual preference. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good.
Because straight men don't want to run around and say, man, I'm straight. I'm straight, man.
Exactly.
If you care with your money, man, just give me your money, man. I don't care what you do. You know, just give me your money. You know?
At the same time, it's like, why would you feel threatened, period, by another man?
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna feel threatened by another person, period, point blank. Hey, listen.
Now, if he coming here with all the bells and whistles and trying to convert us and do all this old crap, like, hey, listen, I'm gonna say something. Hey, listen, that's not me. But I'm judging you from looking at you. I'm having a conversation with you. You ain't even appearing like that, bro. I wouldn't have knew you was gay until you said it. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I mean, the thing is, whatever you decide for you is what you decide for you. As long as you respect me in the realm that I want to be respected, I'm going to respect you in the realm that you want to be respected. So no, I don't feel like you're a threat, or no gay man is a threat to me, or being in any organization or group that I'm in. or having any conversation with them at all.
And I think it's really good, going back to what Ghost said about Malcolm X and brotherhood and things of that nature. So the way we're going to segue this thing is, and of course, women in general, I've always, said the battle of the sexes has always been my greatest curiosity, because I believe that everything that we need is inside of us. And when we just take the time to have the dialogue and the conversations, if we remove our pride, then we open the door to our good mornings and instead of goodbyes. You know what I'm saying? We're able to walk in our day more stronger, more aggressively passionate, because I'm really one who believes in the power of manifestation. So I want to talk about, the political side of this and the safe spaces for Black men, because, it is something that we do need to discuss, and men in general, because I always say, anybody know my favorite word in the whole wide world is balance. That's my favorite word, is balance, and building bridges instead of ditches. So as men, I think this is an opportunity for anyone that's white, Latin, Japanese, German, any of those cultures, to see a conversation being had on politics. I want to know, what are we feeling in this safe space with our lives as Black men? And anyone can start off if you like. Jawan, if you want to start off, and then we just go from there.
Right. I'm gonna need you to repeat that a little bit, man.
Okay, so
please.
Okay, no problem. So I just wanted to shorten it. I want to have this space conversation about Black men in this part of this conversation, the politics, the racism, and present a conversation of how we feel. Because I was looking at a bunch of interviews and a lot of stories, and you see perspective from people that are not Black. We see perspective of people that are not men, women speaking out and doing things, but I rarely get to see just a panel of men talking about how they're feeling and what kind of safe spaces we need to create for each other right now. Because racism is still alive. It's still very bold. It's still very much in our face. So, yeah.
I mean, I think we just have to, first and foremost, put it out there. I mean, it's real. Like, it's happening. And I don't think a lot of people really, know how, I guess, detrimental it is to us or to them, right? Until it actually happens close to them, so to speak. When we're dealing with certain issues, for me, even just, being in the military for so many years and thinking that I'm going to, just because I joined the military, I'm going to get treated one way. And, as far as like, by the cops or whoever, right? I get treated differently too. When I go back home and I get pulled over by a cop or whatever the case may be, they only see me as a Black man. They don't care who I am. And I mean, it opened up my eyes to realize that, there was some change that had to be done within our community, and just basically, try to build, like we even try to build relationship with the cops, or build relationships with the with the other races or other communities. Because essentially we all have probably friends that are other colors and things like that, man. But essentially it's about just getting to know them and just kind of let them know exactly where we're coming from as far as from our perspective, man. Because when they don't know where we're coming from, you're going to put it like this, you're going to have people out here that just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't care about us, like point blank, period. And no matter what we do, we can form this group, we can form 15 million more other groups, and they're still not going to care because of the way that their minds are conditioned. And we got to unlearn a lot of that stuff, even about the, the gay communities or whatever communities, right? We got to get to know each other. And the only way to be able to get to know each other, man, is to have a conversation. That conversation is going to rule a lot of things, and it's going to change the perspectives and views of a lot of people, but it's also going to just say, you know what? I'm who I am, and I'm not gonna change because I don't care about you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's about me. And I think we have to take that unselfishness out of us and be able to, just give people a chance, man. And I think once we do that, I think this world is gonna be a better place, man. But we gotta want to do it, man.
Going with what Jay was just saying, though, and like you were asking, Cabana, for me as a Black man, I look at it like this, like, I know racism isn't dead. I get that. I understand there's people out there that do not like me based on just the color of my skin. I get that. I really give two fucks about it because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to live with their judgment in their mind. Eventually, the shit's gonna fade out. But what I do not stand for and what I do not like is there is a division between being professional and just being a Black man. That shit pisses me off. Because I'm professional, I'm not Black enough. Who the fuck are you, brother? Like, because I'm not out here doing this and doing that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm not down. Nigga, get the fuck out my face, bruh. Like, I'm a grown man taking care of business, nigga. Get you some business and maybe you can function and move the way I can. I could be in the room with these white folks and these other people or whatever. And your ass can't. That's because your ass is being ignorant, not me. But now I'm not down. Like, we got to break that before we even. I get it. Racism, like I said, is there. It's been there. But why are we tearing each other up within our own faction?
Okay. So let me say this. Okay, first of all, Judy Ahmed said, I have to say this episode is very good and informative. A breath of fresh air. Real men, no Steve Harvey. Woo! That's what she said. Ghost and Lou and Slim and all y'all want to get on this part. Like, we'll start with Ghost. Like, let's talk about that. You know, I've always said that sometimes our worst enemy is ourselves. You know, we get in the way of some things, and I get it. Like, I know we have things to deal with, but what could you say right now to us? Go.
Yeah. So, number one, your worst enemy or our worst enemy is not ourselves. It's yourself.
Come on.
You know? So, like you, it's all about, you know, projection of, you know what I mean? Like it's your ego, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever you see as a threat is a projection of the ego, you know what I mean? Like of yourself, you know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever you are fearful of or whatever, that's insecurities within yourself. You know what I mean? That's how I feel, you know, that's kind of what I live by. And that goes into the conversation, you know, or whatever was, you know, Tyrone was saying and Jay was saying how, or even you, Kabata, you was talking about, you know, not every Black person, you know, is wearing baggy pants. Not every Black person is wearing a fitted hat, you know, down over the eyebrows and all the other shit. You know what I mean? Not everybody's a doughboy. Not everybody's a square. Not everybody. It comes in all these different, like, you know, flavors. And for me, I just feel like this conversation that we're having is part of like the beginning stages of just Black men being able to have a safe space. Obviously, that's why we're having this conversation, because that's actually the topic, right? So because we're at the introduction, we haven't gotten into the chapters yet. And the chapters being, there are several different characters of, you know, what we call a Black man, you know what I'm saying? There's, you know, sexuality involved, we touched on that. There's, you know, the different shades, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I would never consider myself a Black man in, like, let's say, South Africa or in Brazil, because I just know what the racial construct there is. You know what I mean? So I would never disrespect Black people out there by saying, yeah, I'm Black too, you know what I'm saying? And having me looking out there crazy like a male Rachel Dolezal, you know what I'm saying? In the United States, it's something completely different. I can, you know, more comfortably say that, you know, even though I'm white passing, especially when I wear a hat and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm aware of all of these things. But what I'm saying is, like, as these conversations go on, we're at the introduction part now. As these conversations go on, we will start to like categorize. You know what? This is this type of Black man. Here's your group to talk with, and you will feel a lot more. And so you won't have that, you know, that opinion of Cabana. You don't have a common ground or whatever, because, dog, that ass, we have common ground. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you say that you don't have common ground with other people and like other males, like, I don't believe that, not one bit, because all you got to do is just break it down to its most granular and molecular level. You're a man, that's a fucking common ground. And guess what? That's the fucking topic of the discussion. You're Black, that's the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, what else is there, man? We already established we don't give a fuck who's fucking who. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and so like it's just a matter of perspective. And I think once again, we're at the introduction part. Let's get that idea out there. We're here now, and it takes some time for us to kind of like find our pockets. And once that happens, now we will start progressing.
I'm gonna bring, because it's almost time for me to bring back the woman of the hour, the woman with the power. But I did this on purpose because, and Courtney, I got you. It is a layered topic. 2.5 hours is never gonna cover enough. But I think this is the greatest thing. And Courtney, I'm gonna let you say what you need to say real quick if you can. And then Juwan, I definitely want you to share where people can come. Men can come for the safe space. And then I'm gonna bring back, Dizzy. But like I said, it's a layered thing. And I hope that this promotes more dialogue and promotes people understanding that there is no quick fix. Everybody thinks there's such a quick fix. It's not. It's really a relationship. And first and foremost, Maurice, Juwan, Ghost, Tyrone, Courtney, Dennis, Slim, Lou. Thank you, Lou. I'm gonna tell you, Lou. Gave me some nuggets, man. The almost you really did. I didn't know what to, going into this, but it gave me a lot more to really think about. And I think that's if I'm thinking, then you've done your job. If we are thinking about other things to help us, we have done our job. So Courtney, talk to me real quick.
I just wanted to go off of what Ghost said, because he said that the real problem is yourself. And one thing that I think we as men, a lot of men don't want to change as they grow. You were raised a certain way, you had these things instilled in you, but one thing about life is we go through experiences, and from those experiences, that is supposed to shape who we are, not just how we were raised. It's supposed to be the experiences that we go through, the people that we meet, the things that they go through, the things that we draw in from everybody, and we're supposed to make informed decisions to shape ourselves. And we want to project that out into the world so that we draw like people towards us. You know what I mean? So that we all can grow. And that's just something that that's something that I strive to do in my life. And you know what I mean? It's worked out pretty well for me. So I think that's something that a lot of people that are hesitant to do should try to look into.
Wow. Lou, give me something. You look like you might want to say something. You want to say something, Lou?
Nah, I was good. Nah,
I'm
just listening.
I was like, wait. Anybody else? We got like 5 more minutes before I bring it. Like one more. No, I'm just gonna bring it in. Let me go ahead and bring it.
You know what? I do got something.
Oh, go ahead.
I got something. I don't think, since we own this, I don't think that, like, okay, Black people have been fighting the struggle for a long time, right? I don't want acceptance, right, from anybody else. I don't need that. Well, I think what we want as a people is respect, right? Just respect us the same. You ain't got to like us, you ain't got to love us. Just give us a respect and fairness, right? So when we talk about the Black men and different sexualities, like, I don't even think it's about acceptance. I think it's just about respect. Respect what everybody's doing. If that's what you're doing, that's what you're doing. If this is what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. I mean, because it comes down, like I say, judging, right? Yeah, that's always gonna be there, but it is what it is. You're gonna feel the way you feel regardless of what anybody do. It's just natural, right? But it's what you do after that. You know what I'm saying? I can feel the way I feel, but the moment I put in that heinous action, that's when I become wrong. You know what I'm saying? The moment I spread that negative energy about that situation, that's when I'm wrong. Everybody's welcome to feel the way they feel, and it ain't always about just changing everybody's mind. Like, because some people not, grown men, I was raised this way, and if your parents taught you that, them the closest people to you, you're not gonna change it. Ain't nobody gonna ever change that. Some people may change, but some not. And that's okay. That's okay too. You know what I'm saying? Even if you racist, you racist, you hate white people, cool, that's just your feeling. But the moment you go out there and put somebody on a tree, now you done messed up. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can bring awareness to it, and some people are gonna change, but again, some are not. Some just not. But we just gotta respect each other. You stay in your lane, I'm stay in mine. If we want to come together, we come together and make it happen together. Yeah, it's just about respect to me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Juwan, tell them how to, talk to them.
All right, man. So like you said, man, Cabana said, man, it's a down by 7, man. Essentially, I named it down by 7, man, because essentially when we walk out the door as a Black man, and no matter who we are, our race, no matter who, what our preferences are, we're Black at the end of the day. So my thing is this: how can we come together and make this thing better? And essentially we can come together by putting different people of different backgrounds together, right? And we got to start with my community, so to speak, you know, and the people that look like us and the people that can relate to us right now before we can put it out there to everybody, so to speak. And that's what I'm doing. I got these group of brothers right here, man, that you can see on here. Plus I got many more that are tapping into what we're doing. And like I said, we do this thing, man, every Friday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we go through via Zoom. As of right now, we're not necessarily doing anything on the Facebook level because it's a lot of topics that we need to take care of in-house, point blank, period. And before we can actually go out there and get this information to everybody, you got to basically almost be accepted into it, man. And when I say that, it's about who you know. All of these brothers in here, man, like, again, everybody is welcome. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to be aware of the topics that we're going to be discussing. And there's going to be some things that, you know, people are uncomfortable with. And essentially, if you can't deal with that, man, this group may not be for you right now. And just truth be told. So you can go on right now. Like I say, I got a Facebook page right now. It's going to be the Down by 7 podcast. That's the Facebook page that you can actually look it up under. And if you got any questions or anything like that, you can either DM me through Facebook, or you can actually email me at downby7, the number 7 podcast at gmail.com. So again, man, we got some big things coming, and we got more mind, you know, people that's coming that's gonna give that funk, man. And like I say, even Cabana, like you say, man, listen, man, brother, you welcome to come in and fellowship with us, and you know, definitely give ideas and give people and let people really just see what that end goal is, because that's what it's about. I got kids, majority of the people on here got kids, and I want this world to be, you know, it's bigger than me. It's about my kids. I want my kids to be able to open up their eyes to what's going on, but also respect the people that's in this world. And also, you know, we got to demand that respect, man, period. So I want my kids to know their worth and who they are as an individual, man. And I just want to be able to continue to grow as a whole, but we got to grow within our communities first before we can grow outside.
But definitely, once again, we're about to bring in Dizzy now. I want to say thank y'all so much. This has been incredible for me. It has been an honor to be given the opportunity, as I call from the boss lady, and I hope that I've made her proud. But most importantly, that I would like to say to everyone that is watching that, you know, energy is everything. And I've always said, protect your energy, protect your space. And that has nothing to do with who you are as far as whatever preference. It's just really important in these times to protect our spaces and to find places that we can grow and that we can learn and we can expand and build. And on today, I feel What You Got to Say, we did that. And we showed the world what it looks like to have a conversation and a bridge being built instead of hand it over to Dizzy.
Hey guys. So first things first, I have to say this was an excellent episode of What You Got to Say. I loved the transparency. I loved the realness. I loved that not everyone in the room had the same damn experience. Not everyone in the room had the same damn background. I actually wrote on the comment section that I am so glad that Lou said, yo, like, I'm gonna just tell you, I'm uncomfortable talking about this because I don't want to offend. And that's to me, that's raw. Mm-hmm. That's real raw, because not everybody is really that comfortable to say, I'm not comfortable, but I'm gonna try my best to articulate what I'm trying to say. And that takes thought, that takes growth, because any random would have just said whatever was on his mind and not had any respect whatsoever for anything that was going on in the room. So Lou, I got that. I really, trust. I appreciate all of you.
Yes.
Lou's statement got me. He was like, I'm not comfortable, but this is what I feel. And to me, that was amazing. I just hope that today, obviously, is not the only time that men are going to have conversations like this. Again, I have to say, my boy Juwan, down by 7. And so I know that this is a podcast for men, but you know, as us wives do, I had one night where I was earjacked podcast, and I was highly impressed because even though I have said in the past on this show that, you know, I have very open conversations with my husband Maurice, and he's provided me insight into a men's world that maybe other men, my homies back in the day, maybe didn't open up to. Just listening to men be able to talk about something live and uncut allows me to, like, when I go into clubhouse rooms and when I'm watching these young 20 and 30-year-old women be guided by dudes like Soulja Boy, you know what I'm saying? It allows me to be like, yo, this nigga lying. He trying to get in your pants. This is what men really feel. And then I get kicked out of rooms. But it's okay. I'm fine with getting kicked out of the room for telling the truth. I don't want to stay there around the lies. So I want to say thank you to Maurice Missy and Mr. Ghost and Cabana and Tyrone Greggory and Jay and Lou and Courtney. And I also, even though y'all can't see them on the screen, I want to thank Slim and Dennis for joining us. And I also have to thank everybody in the comments. If you guys get a chance to go back and look at the comments and how much these people appreciated your comments and your input and your realness, yo, you trust. So this isn't the last time we're gonna have Down by 7 hook up with us. We're gonna have to definitely link with y'all again. Again, make sure you tune into his podcast. And of course, you know, I always gotta go out with some words. So, all right, so check this out. I don't know. Look, this is an old ass book, y'all. So I don't know if you guys have ever read this book, but it was copyrighted in 1946.
Wow.
And it's called A New Day, A New Negro. And as you can tell, this isn't no library copy. This is my grandmother's maiden name. It's falling apart. It's in horrible condition. However, when you read the content in this book, it is by T.L. Young. If you read the content of this book, you will be really surprised at how the words from 1946 and prior still ring true today. So I found a piece that I wanted to read today to close us out. The Negro did not come to America empty-headed or empty-handed. He came out of a culture that is far different from the culture of the American Negro. In his culture, he had all types of tribal languages, and none of it was written. In Africa, they had a morality, a religion, and in general, a way of life. Do we ever stop to consider how hard it is or how long it takes to lay aside all of those things which in due time become a part of a person and then suddenly forced to accept a different mode of living to react favorably to economy or scarcity, when you have been used to an economy of plenty to be forced to save when you have never had the use of a bank, to be forced to make time, to be punctual and prompt when your time has been your own, to be forced to read, write, and figure when you had never seen a book, to be forced to rules and regulations when you had only the native whip of pain and pleasure to drive you on. This for me means we not gonna fix this in this conversation. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but I believe that we can do this. But you gotta remember where we came from. Got it? All right, that's it. What you got to say? Oh, we promised Cool Candice. Cool.
Oh yeah, I was ready. All right, got my notes.
Okay, Cabana, please plug Cool Candice before she call us fussing that we did not give her warning.
First of all, in the words of Cool Candice, you know what I'm saying?
Mary.
Yo, you gotta wash your hands. Wash them.
Mm-hmm.
I say brush your teeth real good. And make sure not just some toilet tissue. Get the baby wipes and wipe your ass. Because your kids out here are smelling like bologna and wet dogs. That's exactly what she said.
Damn.
So that's what I had to say. Candice, bang, shotgun Mary, I did it for you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will meet you again every Sunday, 1 p.m. We are on all major podcast streams. We are live every Sunday, 1 p.m. If you don't have time to watch, check us out on the check us out on the podcast stations. We will see you next week, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What you got to say?